Hey guys, so here's the review for Prom Anonymous by Blake Nelson. I read this from July 12th to July 18th, 2016, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Now, before I go any further, some of you guys might think I'm biased because Blake Nelson is one of my favorite writers of all time. I love him ever since I read Girl. I'm hooked. I buy every book he comes out with. Now, I don't have all his books yet because money, and I just got a new job, but you know, still can't be spending all my money on books even though I really try to. Um so I am a bit biased, but I did give this 5 out of 5 stars. Now I'm gonna say right here, it's not his strongest work. But if you want a really lighthearted, kind of like feel good book, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It kept me entertained. The writing wasn't bad. It was nice and interesting. It's not one of those, oh, this is a piece of art he created and it says so much about society or it says so much about life. If you want a book like that he's read, I highly recommend you to read Girl or Paranoid Park. I read both of them. They're really good. Most of his stuff makes me feel that way, but this was just a little lighthearted read. In fact, I think this was the first book I read by him that was truly lighthearted. But anyway, I'm going to go on with the plot. You have Chloe, Laura, and Jace. And they were best friends when they were in 8th grade. But once they get to high school, they kind of went their separate ways. Chloe becomes the outcast, the weird girl. She's obsessed with Sylvia Plath, and she likes to write poetry. And Jace is the athlete. She does tennis and I want to say soccer too. Maybe not, but she does all these different sports. And Laura's the popular girl. She's got the senior boyfriend that's hot, and everybody loves her, and she's sweet. And Laura decides that because prom, it's a big deal, she wants to get, I think it was their junior prom too. It wasn't like they weren't seniors. But she wants her two friends that she hasn't seen in so long because they separated to go to prom with her. So she convinces Jace to go to prom. But Jace isn't really, hard to convince. She's like, sure, there's this guy I like, I'll go. But Chloe, the outcast, she's kind of the stereotypical, I'm a rebel teacher, this is stupid, and everybody thinks I'm a freak. So you think they would have a hard time convincing her, but they didn't hardly have to convince her at all because Chloe decides, hey, why not? It's something different. Like I said, this is a fun, light read. It's different from Girl in Dream School and Paranoid Park, as I mentioned, because it's not his usual dark, shedding light on society and shedding light on hard issues book. Maybe he had to take a break from that. It's still really good. I love Blake Nelson so much. My problems with it wasn't really all that much. Chloe was a little bit too much of that rebel. Kind of annoyed me to where she thought everybody thought she was a freak. But thinking back on it now, I kind of can see why she would think that because something really bad happens to a party that's really uncalled for. So I kind of get why she's that much, but she just kind of reminds me of the stereotypical emo rebel teenager, and it annoyed me a bit, but it's not a huge nitpick. And there's something bad that happens with Laura and her boyfriend Mike, and I really wanted more closure on that. I really wanted her to confront him, but that doesn't really happen. If it does, we don't see it. It's off. It's mentioned a little bit later. But that's really all I had a nitpick about. If you want a cute little light high school read and from an interesting author that does interesting things, I highly recommend it. Like I said, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And my last book review to catch up on is going to be the first issue of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And I will see you guys for that one.